What's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back. Glad you're here. On today's episode, we're going to be doing it a little different. That's right. We're going to be looking at a deck of cards right out of NPCC in Ukraine. This is the Golden Age playing cards by Sviatoslav, Pashchuck. Yeah, buckle in your seatbelts because we're going there. Let's go. Alright guys, so what do we have here? We have the Golden Age playing cards, alright? These are poker-sized playing cards created with passion, alright? So, what is this all about? These originated here on Kickstarter. It ended up being brought to life and funded by 593 backers. All right, that's a lot. They pledged $18,771 to bring this project to life out of only a $3,800 goal. Okay, and like I said, these were made and created by Sviatoslav Pashchuck. And, he was trying to create a new, fantasy style deck of playing cards. All right. Over the past year, he was designing these and it was becoming a big passion. And he's a big fan of Neil Gaiman, who's an English author of short fiction stories and novels and comic books and things like that. And, he's been dreaming of creating, these images that could actually illustrate that guy's books. And that's how these basically came of. The Stardust novel and the film based on it, inspired him to create this deck of cards. Strong kings, gorgeous queens, and romantic jacks, appeared in his head and from fairy tale world. And that's how this began pretty much. And yeah. All the characters of the deck and their names are fictional and they have no connection at all to, Gaiman's books or any of his work. So, yeah. And as far as the art is concerned, he studied drawing since he said he was about 5 years old. And the classic way of drawing was always to have, has always been his favorite. First, he's drawn all the characters by hand in pencil and sketch style, and then he digitized them and colored them, on a computer. So that's how, this deck was, came of age, pretty much. So yeah, very nice artwork and things like that. So yeah, he definitely has a lot of talent as far as that's concerned. A couple deck features real quick before we get into the tuck case. This comes with 52 poker size playing cards with 2 joker cards, 100% custom design all the way through from the tuck box to the cards, embossing and foil on the tuck box, which you see already, custom tuck seal, and the 55th card was a stretch goal. Which you will get to see here shortly as well. And these are printed by the NPCC out of Ukraine, okay? And these were exclusively on Kickstarter. They made a white version as well as the black version, okay? The difference in them, I don't remember offhand, but yeah. So I think the black version, I think, was a little more rare, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, but yeah, pretty cool to say the least. All right, so let's look at this tuck here on the tuck box. Like I said, you can see already the silver foils and stuff like that he brought into this very good looking tuck box, I will say. And this is, a lot of this is embossed. Not all of it, like down here and up in this side. This is not embossed. It's only this middle part here and here. That's it. You know what I mean? I wish they would have did it all, but they didn't. They only did the middles. Like, even this is not really embossed. So anyway, here on the front it says Golden Age playing cards, and you have all this, you know, script and style, you know, swirlies and whatnot. Very nice. You know, it definitely goes with the style of the deck. Very Game of Thrones-ish, if you will. Here on the side, it says Golden Age as well. Okay. Golden Age on this side. Very cool. You know, good, very, very good artwork. You know, you have these little cool faces, and, you know, it's almost like ancient type, you know, engravings and things like that. Here is the tuck seal that he spoke of earlier. It's this very cool round tuck seal. All right. Very cool, and has the GA for Golden Age. Okay. Back of the tuck box, there's really nothing. This is kind of, you know, I see it. It's close to the back design, but not really. I think it would have been a little cooler to have the back design, but I see how it all wraps and flows, so I respect it. But once again, the only thing embossed is the middle, which, like I said, once again, would have been cool to see it all just come together as far as the whole box. Here on the bottom, once again, is the little bit of ad copy. It says Golden Age playing cards, art by Sviatoslav Pashchuck, and printed by the NPCC in Ukraine. Yeah. Here on the inside, if you actually open up the entire tuck box, it's actually a map of what's called the Four Kingdoms. Because like I said, he basically, the theme of this is just what I said. You know, it's like a book. It's like a novel come to life. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Here on the tuck flaps themselves, you have, you know, these little symbols here. And yeah, very cool. Very different, to say the least. So, that's it for the tuck box. Let's look at these cards. Okay, so as I said earlier, these are printed by NPCC. These are their poker-sized cards. Once again, I do not know how their printing and finishes and stocks go. But yeah, these are very, let me just show you real quick. After we show you this is the back design. You know, they used a lot of the, it's not even really a metallic gold ink or anything. It's close to it, but it's almost like a brownish and whatnot. I don't know what to really call it. So yeah, but you know, it's pretty much all one color, different hues almost, with the white background. Not a bad looking design. Very easy on the eyes for the most part. Not too busy, but you know, it does the job, I guess. You know, it flows definitely with the theme of what he was trying to do. But once again, I just want to show you guys this. You know, this deck is semi-smooth, but, you know, these cards are not evenly cut, for one. You can feel, it's almost like a stripper deck, but not. Like the tops, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but you can see how uneven these are. I mean, it's not good, to say the least. I mean, look at those cards sticking up. I don't know if you guys can see that right now. Like, look at the edges, the ripples in the top of the deck. And it's only on certain ends. See, it gets smoother down here than it is up here. Same with the sides. But look at these spreads. I mean, it's not a good... I mean, God, that's so bad. I'm sorry, but I mean, that is just... Oh. Look at the fans. I mean, look, you can't even close the fan back up. And this is brand new. I have not... Look at this. I have not used this. It's so clumpy. And, you know... Honestly... Oh, God, it's so bad. I can't do it. It's just... It's so clumpy. You know, it's almost like these were printed at home on a home computer. I probably could have did better myself. Honestly, I'm sorry. It's just... it's so sad. I feel bad for the people that backed these and thought they were going to be good cards, because they're not. Anyways, let's look at the rest of these cards. So this deck is a 100% custom deck, as you can see here. They definitely kept the flow of the design of the cards as far as using the gold around the pips and indices to flow with the back design as well, you know, and to run with the theme. They definitely chose to not use that, you know, the standard quartz or pips and indices, like I said. And yeah, this deck, you know, the paper and everything about it, you know, just it's not a high quality deck. And I think for what it was, I think it could be more. All right, like I said, once again, this is a 100% custom deck. Like I said, he chose to go with, you know, created characters and whatnot to make up for the kings, queens, and jacks. Like I said earlier, strong kings, beautiful queens, things of that nature. He even gave them names, as you can see on the middle of each court. You know, like I said, this is very much so a fictional type of deck of cards. The only problem is I am very confused in the sense of what this can be used for. You can't even really use it for, you know, a board type game like a Magic of the Gathering and things like that, because it doesn't even come with a rule book or anything to even begin to come up with it. So the whole naming of cards in that way is kind of confusing once again. So, you know, using these in Magic or anything of that matter is also even more confusing than that. So I don't really know, besides the fact of him being a fan and wanting to create these cards, you know, I think he could have done something more than that. Instead of targeting these cards as far as Magic, cardistry, things like that. I think he could have actually been a little more successful in creating this deck if he would have actually made like rules and things of that matter to actually make it a fun, interesting, you know, card game itself, other than just a deck that stands alone. The aces are very pretty and beautiful. You know, on the other end of the spectrum, you have the very nice ace of hearts here with the nice border that matches the back design and theme. You have the ace of clubs here, same thing with the big black club pip here in the middle. The diamond, same thing, very, very nice and executed. And then the really nice, beautiful ace of spades that has that real nice theme that goes around the whole tuck case and that we've seen that's went through and throughout the whole entire deck, that kind of makes that pip pop even more. And it says Golden Age underneath of that. So yeah. So that's all I can say about these cards. All right, so what are my final thoughts on this deck? Man, that was rough. That's all I can say. This is not a good deck by any means. You know, with the way it clumps up and sticks and just maybe cardistry, maybe. Listen, I give them an A for effort on the tuck box. The tuck box being that very nice embossed and, you know, using the silver foils and whatnot and the metallic golds and everything. That is beautiful. But if they could have just followed that in suit, literally, once again, and did the same in the deck, that would be a whole different story. But unfortunately, they didn't, which is a big for me. Okay? You know, I've seen these decks coming out of NPCC in Ukraine, and I'm not saying they're bad, but they're also not good. There is definitely a repeated feel to these cards. They have a certain thing, almost like how USPCC has, you know, that standard of, you know, you're getting a good deck. Same with Cardamundi. When you go to Cardamundi, you know it's going to be a great deck. That's how these are, you know, and it's not good. You know, here's the thing, right? These cards, I can almost say, you give me double blank cards from Bicycle, you know, or whatever, and I could print these cards better as far as feel is concerned on my home printer. I mean, that's how these feel. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to hold my tongue. These are not worth the paper they're printed on. And that's just that. So, yeah, I got to give this deck a 1 out of 5. And that is even aiming high. I wanted to like it, but it just doesn't hit the mark. Design-wise, the whole 9, it's just bad. The tuck is the most that I can say I actually enjoyed out of it. And putting them up in my shelf. Sorry. Unfortunately, I gotta keep it honest and tell the truth. And I hope you guys value that opinion. And that's why I hope you do subscribe. So, that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this review as much as I enjoyed doing it for you. And if you did, please consider hitting that like button as well as subscribing if you haven't already. And I will see you amazing people on the next one.